Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everyone between Jason, welcome back to the rundown, a 10-minute testing ripoff for Master Duel. Today on the rundown, we're making Child Me Proud, taking one of the decks I've loved for a very long time and finally getting the chance to play it in modern times. No, we're not just gonna throw some old playground bulk in a deck and call it a day. Instead, we're trying to make a classic competitively viable. And what better deck to make the young me lose his mind than one of his favorite decks he's never played properly. Please allow me to introduce to you, Hero, the Mitsurugi Fiendsmith.
Spider-Man, とうとうお前の正体がバレる日が来たね。
That's right, today we're taking a look at a hero deck. This deck certainly plays hero cards and certainly wants to use the hero cards to make plays, but I assume most purist hero fans would probably not like this very much. Don't worry, you can direct all your hate to the law. Why'd you go in MBT Yu-Gi-Oh!, who I stole the initial list and ideas from. Specifically the law, he posted on Twitter first. I mean, me and MBT, we just copied this guy, honestly. But yes, this is a deck that can finally play hero cards with other engines. This deck is actually pretty unique to the Master Duel format because Master Duel still has all these absolutely ridiculous overpowered bridge cards which let us get into each of our different engines. Specifically, we are on the Mitsurugi and Fiendsmith engines. But yes, like I said at the top, I actually have loved Hero for a very long time. I, of course, was a big fan of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX when I was a child. And frequently when I would play the Yu-Gi-Oh! GBA games, they would be around the GX era, I would always try and build Thunder Giant turbo decks. And while the Thunder Giant or Thunder Giant retrains have not made into this deck, I'm still happy to be able to throw out my heroic boys and girls, question mark. So let's go over the card by card. Of course, we cannot sort cards in Master Duel, so we just have to go from left to right. To start out, so we're on 1 copy of Fabled Lurie, 2 Troll and Lockbird, 1 Max C, 3 Ash Blossom to beat the 1 Max C, 2 Elemental Hero Stratos, 1 Masked Hero Dusk Crow, a brand new card. If this card is in your hand, you can banish 1 hero monster from your graveyard, special summon this card. If this card is normal or special summon, you can add 1 Masked Hero monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand, except Masked Hero Dusk Crow. You can only use each effect of Masked Hero Dusk Crow once per turn. Now in the new hero lines, you would be using Masked Hero Dusk Crow usually to search Masked Hero Furnace, which you could do something where you can like make a Masked Hero Contrast, but Furnace locks you. So because we are only trying to play the hero cards that do not lock you, we are instead focusing on the interaction with Masked Hero Fountain, another brand new hero card that the TCG is not getting for another 2 months. You can reveal this card in your hand, especially 1 hero monster from your hand in defense position. If this card is sent to the graveyard by card effect or to activate a card effect, you can set 1 mass change from your deck or graveyard. You can use each effect of Masked Hero Fountain once per turn. Therefore, if you fuse off the Masked Hero Fountain or detach him from an XYZ, he will trigger in order to set a mass change. Speaking of our hero combos, we have the one bad draw we're playing in this deck, and that is Elemental Hero Shadow Mist. Usually older hero decks would be using Shadow Mist to get your mass change into rotation, being able to search mass change 1 or 2. But in this version of the deck, we only want Shadow Mist for the graveyard effect of this card to the graveyard. You can add 1 hero monster from your deck to your hand except Shadow Mist, because if we start with Elemental Hero Stratos and just adding a card like Dusk Crow or adding a card like Fountain just isn't enough there. While yes, we can make plays, we'd rather use other cards to send Shadow Mist, so Shadow Mist could be the banish for the Dusk Crow summon effect. Continuing on the card by card, we're on 1 Lacrima, 3 Fuelos, 1 copy of Evil Hero Dead End Prison. Next up, we have the Mitsurugi Trio, 1 Kusanagi, 1 Saji, and 1 Aramasa. Back to the heroes for a second, we're on 1 copy of Evil Hero Sinister Necroth. This is how we bridge the Fiendsmith half of the deck back into the heroes, because we can make a copy of Aerial Eater with Fiendsmith sequence. We can then just send Sinister Necron for deck, and that lets us then banish him to special Dead End Prison, which then starts all the hero plays. Speaking of the Fiendsmith, we're on 2 copies of Fiendsmith Engraver, 1 Nibiru the Primal Being, 1 Murakumo, 2 Habakiri, 3 A Hero Lives, 3 Pre-Preparation of Rites, 1 Fiendsmith Tract, Mitsurugi Ritual, Mitsurugi Mirror, Mass Change, Called by the Grave, the freshly limited Mitsurugi Prayers, and 1 Mitsurugi Great Purification. Now on to the extra deck, and this is where the magic happens. We're on 1 copy of Masked Hero Dark Law, and that is the only hero card in the extra. 1 Lacrima, 1 Aerial Eater, 1 Fiendsmith Desiree, King of the Feral Elements, one of the most bannable cards in existence. Evil Storm, Exciton Knight, Dugaris the Timeless, DDD Wave, High King Caesar, Fiendsmith Requiem, IP Masquerena, SP Little Knight, Moon of the Closed Heaven, the other most bannable card in existence, Fiendsmith Sequence, one Abaaku, and finally we're on one copy of Underworld Goddess of the Closed World. This card's not mandatory. I know in this slot MBT was playing Master Acid. That never came up, so I decided to replace it with a utility card because I was struggling to out towers. So that's the deck, and why don't we... Oh god. Why don't we check out some games? So here we are, game number 1, and we are just going to full combo against the bot. Well, not exactly the best start, but we're going to lead a hero lives. Best start for the video, I mean not the play, at least this is a broken hand. So we're going to go straight up, add Dead End Prison, then we're going to normal summon Dead End Prison, Dead End Prison effect, sending Shadow Mist. Shadow Mist will then trigger to add us a copy of Master Hero Dusk Crow. Dusk Crow will then banish the Shadow Mist to summon himself, and then on resolution he will activate his effect to add a copy of Master Hero Fountain. We're going to go ahead and summon that Master Hero Fountain using his own effect, and then overlay for a copy of Dugaris the Timeless. We'll be activating Dugaris' effect to detach 2, and then I will draw 2, discard 1, and wow, 2 cards we do not need. Anyway, Fountain will trigger to set a mass change. You see I forgot to put the alt art in the deck at this time. Anyway, let's go link 2 into who else but Moon of the Closed Heaven. Link Moon off for Requiem, and then Requiem effect to summon Lacrima from deck. Lacrima effect will then trigger to send Fiendsmith Engraver, and whose effect we will then use to summon himself, shuffling back Moon. Immediately link these 2 off for a copy of Fiendsmith Sequence. Activate Fiendsmith Sequence to fuse the 2 away for a copy of Fiendsmith's Lacrima. Lacrima then trigger to revive Fiendsmith, and that is Wave King Caesar. Now, because we opened Murakumo and Ritual, we're just going to activate the Ritual to summon the Murakumo from hand, hitting the board, tributing off Kusanagi and Aramasa. Kusanagi triggers to get us Ritual, and Aramasa will trigger to add us a copy of Habakiri. We will then activate Ritual again to summon Habakiri from deck, tributing the Murakumo on field. Then trigger Murakumo's effect to then add a copy of Mitsurugi Prayers. And of course, revive himself as well. Now because this is a bot, I did kind of want to style on him a little bit, so we're going to activate Prayers to summon back one of our guys and then reborn the Habakiri, grabbing Great Purification in the process. And let's just start making some plays. We're going to link 4 into Abaaku, set 2 cards, send this Saji, banish yourself, revive the Saji effect to add a copy of Mitsurugi Mirror, because now we can activate the Mitsurugi Mirror to summon the Habakiri Engrave by tributing the Habakiri in hand. This bit of overextension allows us to end on an extra IP Masquerena for the end board. Alright, so like I said, first, Abaaku comes back. I'm sorry. Like I said, this was just a showcase of the full combo uninterrupted against the bot, and surely the next duel will have some interaction. Alright, here we are, game number 2, and our opponent is on Voiceless Voice. Although you might not believe me after this replay. Anyway, we're going first once again, and we opened no hero plays besides the Dusk Crow, so we're going to lead with Fiendsmith Engraver to get tracked. This is the least impactful part of the opening hand here with all these starters, so we tried to bait out any interaction with this. So we'll grab track to summon Lurie, and then we will add Lurie, summon Lurie, Requiem. Let's just fast forward. Come on. Requiem for Lacrima, send Engraver effect. Oh, shoulder back Lurie. Wow. Alright, link 2 into Sequence. Finally, some new combo is happening here. Sequence effect, we're going to shuffle 2 back to summon out Aerial Eater. This is going to let us send a copy of Sinister Necron from deck. We will then banish to immediately summon Dead End Prison. Dead End Prison effect is going to send a Shadow Mist. We'll use Shadow Mist effect to add a copy of Stratos. We will then normal summon the Stratos to add another copy of Stratos for next turn, maybe? Not really. Anyway, so let's link 4 into Abaaku, because we still need to make a Caesar, just in case they've been holding Nib for all this time. We'll pitch Mirror, get Mirror engrave, before we do any of the Mitsurugi combo, so it'll trigger and shuffle itself back into the deck. Keep in mind, with Prayers at 1, we do need a target in the deck for Murakumo on the next turn. Anyway, so Habakiri is going to summon Saji, tribute Saji, Ritual, And I think we've all seen this before, so let's go. We summon Habakiri and trigger the Boys Engrave again. Chain blocking so we don't get belled on the add back of Mitsurugi Ritual. Anyway, let's activate the Mitsurugi Ritual, attributing the Habakiri on field for who else but Murakumo. Habakiri effect trigger mirror triggers, putting itself back in deck, and we get a copy of Prayers. And here comes the Habakiri, tributing the Murakumo with Prayers to bring back the Kusanagi to get our Great Purification. And of course, we summon Murakumo back in the process. Then link 2 into IP Masquerena, summon Dusk Crow, banishing the Shadow Mist, Dusk Crow effect, adding Fountain. And now you may be noticing, wait, how are we going to trigger Fountain? Well, we're going to make a Dugaris Atamas and funny OCG ruling. We will detach 2 from Dugaris and reborn the Dusk Crow we just detached. Now, this play is legal, obviously, in OCG and in Master Duel, but if for whatever reason you are playing paper, maybe in 2 months when Fountain comes to the TCG, keep in mind this ruling for the TCG is actually on a ask your head judge basis. To quote Distant Coder, there's no official ruling, so just ask the head judge. Anyway, we're going to set a copy of Mass Chain, set Purification, and pass turn with a Baoku coming back. So we have the Dugaris on board to be used for the IP Masquerade. Oh, they're going to lead a Pot of Extravagance, and we realize we forgot to summon Darklaw and draw. Anyway, let's go Mass Change now. We'll be able to loop a card once they add it. Here comes Darklaw. Alright, they add a card. We trigger Darklaw effect to make them discard a card, and they will respond with Imperm. Well, we have plenty of cards to stop them, and I just assume they really want the Banish effect to be turned off. So we'll Great Purification that end. Yeah, so here's the problem. I couldn't get any usable footage for this deck. I'm sorry. No one wanted to stay while I did this combo, and the only people who did stay would activate like 1 or 2 cards and surrender. Like, you knew what interaction I had. Everything was known. I was playing cards basically revealed. Aside from hand traps, they'd sit through the entire combo and then just lose to the first interaction. Oh god. Let's go game 3. Maybe it'll be more watchable. All right, here we are, game number 3, and our opponent is on Sky Striker. We are going first once again, and you can see we opened a lot of good stuff. Sinister Necrom, not so great. We're going to lead pre-preparation rights. Just try to get any kind of negation out of them. This would be really bad if they were playing Droll. Anyway, they didn't do anything, so let's activate Habakiri, tributing Saji. Hey, why don't we skip ahead a little bit? Yeah, adding Mitsurugi Ritual, activating Mitsurugi Ritual's effect. Sending the boys to summon Habakiri. They trigger adding back Ritual and adding us nothing because we opened the other Habakiri. Anyway, here comes Murakumo being summoned from deck off Ritual, and then we add Purification off of Habakiri. Prayers, tributing Murakumo and reborning the Kusanagi. Murakumo adding another copy of Prayers. Whoops, this is a pre-ban list video. Oh well, anyway, so we're going to tribute summon Sister Necrom and link off for Moon, Requiem, Lacrima, Engraver. Summon back the Engraver, link 2 into sequence. Wow, have you ever seen this one before? Sequence effect, shuffling 2 back, summoning out Fiendsmith's Lacrima, Lacrima effect, going to reborn Engraver, and now we are safe from Nibiru. If they had Nibiru, they would have used the much earlier Sister Necrom effect now to summon Dead End, setting Shadow Mist, Shadow Mist effect to add the Dusk Crow. Dusk Crow is going to summon himself by banishing Shadow Mist, once again summoning himself out and adding a copy of a Fountain. A Fountain's going to trigger, summoning himself. Then we're going to overlay those 2 for Dugaris Atamas. Dugaris detach 2, draw 2, discard 1. Wow, Droll and Lockbird, my favorite. Anyway, let's link 2 in the SP little guy because we didn't have much else we could do. Anyway, we're going to set the not legal copy of Mitsurugi Prayers, the Great Purification. This time we'll remember to use the Mass Change. And ooh, Rain Typhoon Vision, which will just get ashed. Cool game. Alright, at resolution, that gets negated, and we summon a copy of Masked Hero Dark Law. Alright, standby main. The opponent will then go for Feather Duster, which I really could not care about, so we're just going to let that go. Now they go Widow Anchor here on the Dark Law, and I say, you know what? Fine. Let's just loop a card out of your hand. So they go ahead and send the Upstart Goblin. This is when I realized it wasn't Rain Typhoon, it was actually Striker. They go Engage for Cyanos, which is a very interesting ad. Probably could say they're on like the Earth Machine variant, maybe, of Striker and Yeah, we drew Droll off that Dugaris, didn't we? I mean, Darklaw ate some interaction. You can call that a hero W if you want. Get me out of here. Get me to the end. Let's end the video. No. We have to do the end part. So we're back with the deck, and hey, that was pretty good, I guess. Before we go over the pros and cons, let me be real. It was very hard to find usable footage for this video. Now, this isn't me saying that actually this deck is dog and can't play anything. No, rather, people just wouldn't stay for the full game. I would get halfway through the combo and then they surrender. So it was pretty hard to find some good stuff, which is why we pretty much just showed me full comboing people with no interaction and them just giving up. But let's be real, the deck does have a pretty high win rate. Obviously we're playing just crazy engines like Fiendsmith and Mitsurugi, but the hero stuff is pretty good. The main core idea of this deck is that we have so much just go kinds of engine that it doesn't matter if you get ashed on a hero list. It doesn't matter if you get imperned on Stratos. You're probably opening multiple starters, or you have ways of extending through interruption. Before I start rambling on, we of course have to go over the pros and cons. First off, the pros. Obviously, like I was just saying, there is so much engine, it's very likely that we open multiple one-card starters in each hand. As well, we put up such a crazy end board that most people can't play through it. There's also so much space for non-engine, a crazy idea considering this is, this is supposed to be a hero deck. And obviously the biggest pro is, and honestly, I think the biggest pro of all is you get to say you're playing a good hero deck. Don't kill me for that. Don't kill me for that. Please don't kill me. Let's talk about the cons. Let's talk about the cons. One, Maxi, Droll and Lockbird is also devastating. Yes, the Fiendsmith part of the deck is how we're supposed to play under Droll, but it's highly unlikely that one Caesar wins us a game. In the same vein, Volcharmy-Fulos, while not as devastating as Maxi, is really powerful against this deck. Speaking of hand trap, Nibiru, the problem being the only Omni-Negate we play in this deck is Murakumo, which isn't good against Nibiru at all. It's highly likely that if the opponent has Nibiru, they will just stop us before we can get to wave hiking Caesar. The hope is that when that happens, that we're able to just keep playing through it. Another issue with the deck is we're actually playing quite a lot of cards that demand the normal summon if drawn. So while we do want to go through cards like Kusanagi, Saji, Aramasa, Stratos, they aren't really the best cards for us to use our normal summon on. In terms of starters, we'd really much rather start with like a Hero Lives, Habakiri, or the Fiendsmith stuff. And it really was those hands where we opened multiple normal summons that really felt the worst for me when I was doing testing. And honestly, the biggest con for this deck, like I said before, like I said in the replays, people don't want to play against this. Well, yes, I was bat chesting every time I won a duel with hero. No one's waiting for you to full combo. No one wants to see Habakiri, Fiendsmith, and Darklaw in the same deck. But hey, I had fun playing this, and I think you will too. There's just something satisfying about all these different bridges and little synergies coming together to make one deck that's honestly very fun to play. But don't let my opinion sway you. Play the deck for yourself and let me know what you think in the comments. And while you're down there, feel free to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let me know if there's a deck you would like to see me feature next. I haven't asked that in a while. Anyway, that's it for me. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.